Well, good evening. I'm Rick Dancer. Welcome to Get Real with Rick Dancer. We got a really fun show for you tonight. I've been waiting for this. Alvord Taylor, Endless Possibilities. I love that tagline because it is. These are folks that work with people in our community that have varying abilities through the group home atmosphere. So this is like one big happy family. And they're always looking for more people that really want to be inspired in their life and work with them. So they're going to be here tonight. They're one of our sponsors, Chris Dental Family Dentistry. Our dentist, Michael Bratlin, he's also sponsoring a segment we're going to have with Bill Lundun. And as some of you probably heard last week, he broke a story about how the governor had given some special rights to the DEQ to create policy. It's basically cap and trade. And he's going to give us a long, in the weeds kind of presentation on that. So you will know. This isn't like regular news where you're going to get a minute 30. Bill's going to tell you so you will know in a conversation how you can talk about this. And if you want to know more, there's a 20-minute version on my YouTube page that really gets into the weeds. And that's on my YouTube page under Bill Lundun. So that's another place you can go. We also want to talk about Mercury Metal is one of our sponsors, and they're going to be talking. In fact, I'm just going to show you. This is something. They're an organization in town, and they're a metal fabrication and design shop. So this is a movie screen that they designed for a client that goes in their yard that can just come up, and all that metal, the whole thing, they worked to create that design. I think it's fascinating. Isn't that cool? And then I got to show you something else. Okay, see my logo back there, right there. Right there. They made this for me out of metal. Check that out. Is that not cool? Get Real with Rick Dancer. It's my business card that they took and made that for me. And now they're going to make one of me in Montana. So it's going to be a big state with my big head. But that's my... So if you're looking for fabrication needs, one of the things I'm looking at is we have a backsplash in one of the houses we're looking at in Montana, and it's all kind of crappy stuff. I want to have corrugated metal put back there with some design in it, and they can do that. They'll come up with ideas with you. Again, that's Mercury Metal Design and Fabrication right here in Eugene, Oregon, and we want to thank them for their sponsorship as well. So first, we're going to get our open, and then we're going to come out, and we're going to talk with Alvord Taylor. Oh, and we also have Rob Bait and Tackle from Charleston, Oregon, with his report tonight. So all that's coming up. Who puts up with this? That's what I don't understand.
Bring the lion out. Bring the lion.
Tonight on our show, we're going to have... Hey guys, don't you think it's kind of fun that you get to comment on the news? There's a cost. Oh yeah, there's a cost. People come after you. Like, I think that's why this is so much fun, is because... I'll see you at 5. All right, so let's get right to it. Mark, I'm going to bring you on first. Mark Herbert with Alvord Taylor. So what are these endless possibilities, Mark, that you have going on over there?
Well, Rick, the whole theme behind Endless Possibilities is that we have people who have developmental disabilities and challenges, just like all of us have. And the whole idea behind Alvord Taylor is to create environments where those folks can live as full and rich lives as possible. And so kind of another way of saying endless possibilities is no limitations, is we're going to help them live and experience their best life. And that's what we're dedicated to. We're very proud of that. We work with people who in homes that we work with them 24/7, 365. We also work with people in their own homes where we come in and support them. But the whole concept behind Alvord Taylor in its 50-year history is for the people with developmental disabilities, specifically in our case, adults, is to live their fullest, richest, most beneficial lives. And that's what we're dedicated to do.
So one of the things I know about you guys is you don't really understand the word no. You know, if somebody comes to you and says, Don would like to try this. Okay, we'll put it on his ISP and we'll see if we can make that happen. But you don't, and I think that's putting the humanity back in disabilities, because I think so many times people on the street look at what people can't do and you look at what they can do and stretching that to a point where let's find out where the limit is. You know what I mean?
I do, and that's a great way. That's a great way to describe it, Rick. Is what we're about is inclusion and exclusion. Let's not build things around people. Let's create opportunities for people, whether it's an employment situation, a life situation, to get out there and enjoy it, and to take it to the max. You know, it's over the years that I've been here, we've had people go on cruises. We've had, people with assistance do mountain climbing. The whole thing is to do everything within our power for them to, just because somebody has a disability doesn't mean they don't have a bucket list, and doesn't mean that they want that bucket list to be as empty as possible when they leave this good earth.
I have my brother-in-law Chip is in a group home setting, and one of the things he has on his list is he loves to go to the mall and just look at pretty girls.
I can relate to that.
Yeah, they take him to, he goes out to the mall. And I think that's really, I've learned a lot by having him in my life is, I used to, when he wanted to have a beer, I just get him a beer. And then they started saying, well, what kind of beer does he like? And I was like, I don't know. Well, then we need to figure that out. And I think that's how people normally think, and the staff that you have is like people that go, let's find out what the person is about.
Yes.
And for so many of these people, that has never happened until they get into a place like Alvord Taylor. They've just been shuffled through places and institutions and stuff, and all of a sudden here they are in a place where they have choices and options and freedom and all those things we value as Americans.
It's what it's all about. It is literally about, we talk about marginalized populations. Unfortunately, the DD community has been marginalized for a long time, but that needs to change. And we at Alvord Taylor and our colleagues are out there. That is what we are dedicated to is people living their absolute best lives. Let's go out there and let's give everybody the opportunity to live your best life.
Well, let's find someone. Here's Dawn and Jamie. Jamie's on the left in the Santa hat. And Jamie works with Dawn and other folks at the group home where you live. So Jamie, you were talking to me earlier about that, like you love your job.
Yeah, I do. I've been in this field now for about 18 years. I've been at Alvord Taylor for about 9, and it could be hard work, but it's really rewarding, and it's a great place to work. And we need some people to come in and help us out so we can keep these guys out in the community and doing the things that they want to do.
What do you love so much about it? What is it when you go home at night? You're tired, but
I know I made a difference in somebody's life. I was like excited and happy for a couple of days after the parade, and just hearing Dawn giggle and say, I'm so ticklish after that. It's the way that he was talking. He was like, all those people were waving at me, and I saw kids and dogs, and he just had the best day. And I love it when I see people have like a wonderful day, and I was a part of that. And Alvord Taylor is a part of that. They put a lot of time into building the float and having a safe space for the guys to get out there and enjoy that parade. And Don loved it, and he's still talking about it.
So if you guys don't know that, so Alvord Taylor just recently moved into Springfield. They're over there near Winco, and instantly became part of the community. And they were in the Springfield holiday parade. And Don, I saw you, man, in the truck, and I was waving at you.
Yeah.
Was that what was that like for you being in that parade?
Like I couldn't hardly see it, and I was just blinking my lights.
Did you have fun?
Yeah.
So Don, tell people, what do you like to do? Like, what are some of the things that you do for fun?
I cut our pictures here.
Okay. So you're an artist then?
Yeah, like get all cutters at the right spots.
How old are you, Don?
77.
Seriously?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow, you look really young. I'm kind of jealous.
He's very smart. Tell him how many more hours until Christmas. How many more hours till Christmas, Don?
What's the date?
Today is the 21st.
He's like a computer.
He's really good at arithmetic. He tells me how many hours before he'll see me again, and I say, "No, don't tell me that anymore. You mean I'm only going to be gone for 11 hours?
316 hours.
316 hours till Christmas," he says.
So Don, I have a friend. He can do. Name's Perry, and he can. If I say my birthday, he can tell me what day it was of the week.
Mm-hmm.
So don't you think, Don, that do people not see everything about you when they look on the outside?
Can't say everything like I'm not used to everything that's out.
Jamie, is that the secret? That is that what you get out of your job? Is you see miracles, don't you? I mean, things.
Yeah, I do all the time, every day. There's another individual that has never talked, and I hear him trying to talk every day. Like every day, it's like he's trying harder to say some words to us, and it's a great place to work. I love being here and supporting these guys.
You know, Jamie, here's kind of like a thought. You know how we used to say that people like Dawn that they aren't normal, but they aren't normal. They're beyond normal. They're exquisite, and they're probably like these genius folks that are just not seen for their genius because people don't take the time to look.
Yeah, that's right. Like John he's so smart. He knows number things all the time. He remembers. He'll tell me what year a school was built in Eugene, and he'll tell me when a bridge was built and then when it was rebuilt. He just is like a computer. His brain is a computer of all this knowledge.
So Jamie, what have you learned about yourself working with people with varying abilities?
I've learned a lot of patience. I came into this field because I adopted a son who I found out had autism, and at that time I did not know what autism was, and my son was 4 years old, and I was like, I think I need to learn, and so I got into this field, and it's taught me a lot, and it's taught me acceptance and patience and advocating for people that I support, and also for my son, because we do really have to be there to advocate for them in everything, in doctor's appointments, if they want to have a job out in the workforce, if they want to go do something fun, advocating for the goals that they want on their ISPs. And so, yeah, it's taught me to be able to advocate for them and to research and learn more so that I could help them more too.
So they need you, and you actually need them.
I do need them. Yes.
Yeah. Good at I worked at the Goodwills 40 years, and I was called the champion.
Why were you, Don? Did you make candles?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I did a story on you, dude. No, I did a video on you. You used to make candles at Goodwill, right?
Yes.
I have a video I am not kidding you. I have a video on my file on YouTube of you making candles at Goodwill, and you talked to me. Oh my God, what a small world. That's so weird. I remembered the name as soon as you started saying at Goodwill, and I was like, that's the dude. That's Don the dude, the candle maker.
I can melt some cutter corns and they get melt into candles.
I know. I shot the whole thing. That's what you did. Oh my God, that is so fun. Well, Don, it is good to see you again. I'm glad to see you're still around and keeping people busy, and I hope you're still on, Ray.
He is.
Yeah. Oh, Jamie answers for him. Well, thank you guys for talking to me. I really appreciate it. Don, it was great getting reacquainted with you again. That is so funny. You guys should go look on my page, put in Goodwill or something, and I'll try to see if I can find it. That is so funny. Jamie, thank you for what you do. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for having us on.
You're welcome. So, Mark, that's what you're looking for, more people that are ready to advocate for people. And it's not just like it's hard work. But it's like at the end of the day, you know that you've made a huge difference in somebody's life. And I think there's so many people out in the world that want to do that. They just don't know how.
I completely agree, Rick. You know, I've done a lot of different things over the course of my career. I worked in high technology as a consultant with a lot of people. I have not ever encountered a group of people as committed to what they do and as committed to the people that they serve. as the group of people that it is my privilege to work with here at Alvord Taylor. And people like Jamie are just rock stars, where they just bring it day after day. Because I don't want to kid anybody. The work that folks like Jamie do, it's tiring, it's tough, it can be exhausting. But it is also, even if you do it for a while, it is probably one of the most fulfilling things that you will ever do in your life. And you will never look at people, and you will never look at opportunities, and you will never look at things the same way again in your life after you have had the privilege of working with people with disabilities and the people who support them.
Right. What a great thing on a resume too, because anybody that's done this knows it's not just a job, it's a commitment to human beings. You know what I mean? And like all the people that work with my brother-in-law, they know him better than we do. And, and we used to give more presents to his staff than we did our own family. Because it was like we knew what they did. So if you guys are looking for just a change, you're a college student and you're looking for something as an internship, and maybe it has nothing to do in your mind with what you want to do in the future. But if you want to be a good lawyer, you go work like this and find out how people really are. And if you want to be a good communication specialist, you go in and find out how to communicate with people that don't communicate like you do. I mean, those are rare opportunities. These are teachers. Don and all the folks like him are just teachers waiting to show you how to understand humanity even better. I love that.
That's absolutely true. Yeah, you want to learn about, like Jamie said, you want to learn compassion. You want to learn empathy. You want to learn patience. This is the place.
Mark, thank you and Alvord Taylor for your endless possibilities and for helping us with our show. And we love getting to promote you. We'll be back again next month with a whole new group of people. Thank you, buddy. Have a nice holiday too.
Thank you, Rick. Thanks to you and all your listeners and everything. Everybody have a safe and happy holiday. And thanks again for giving us the opportunity to tell our story.
All right. You're welcome, buddy. See you later. You guys, that is such an awesome opportunity for anyone who is just thinking, gosh, I just want to take the next step and do something different. That's really what it's all about, changing our lives. And here's a way to really impact people's lives. And I know for a fact that it does. So, all right. So we are going to switch gears just a little bit. We're going to go down to the Oregon coast, Charleston, Oregon, and check in with Rob at Bait and Tackle, doing his bi-monthly feature every other Wednesday. We got Rob. And Rob, what do you got for us tonight?
Here from Bait and Tackle, out on location, beautiful Simpson Reef, for Mr. Rick Dancer. He asked us to come out and get some video for you guys. We talked about this last week or a couple weeks ago. We're going to start making this a semi-regular thing where we show you some of the cool stuff going on the southern Oregon coast out here at the family. I'll be honest, we're only out in this weather because Rick wanted us to be. We're going to stay home. The fireplace is going. It's nice and hot. But truthfully, we do come out a lot in this weather because there's so much to do. And every season brings something new and exciting. Crabbing is still amazing right now. We went out yesterday afternoon, got a bunch of crab. I'll do this. I'll turn this so you can see behind us there. Did really good with that. Climbing's been good, but all the low tides are at dark, so we're having to do it at night, which is fun for us because there's no people around. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. But anyway, we're out here. It's beautiful. It's magnificent. Like I say, we've got, when the weather allows, fishing is still good. Crabbing's still good. What else we got going on? It's whale hunting season. It's that time of year now.
No, it's watching.
No, we hunt them.
No.
You watch people hunt them?
No, people watch the whales.
To hunt them.
You don't hunt them.
So why do you watch them?
Because you don't get to see them, because we don't live in the water. So we watch them when they come out of the water.
Okay, so I'm not up on this whale thing. Apparently you just watch them. It's not whale hunting season, it's whale watching season. So you watch them. Well, where did all that whale meat in the freezer come from? Look, don't be blubbering about this. We're just messing with y'all. We're messing. We know better than that. But all honesty, if I could, okay, we're gonna show you what's going on out here on the reef itself. You'll see, if we can zoom in enough, you can see seals and sea lions, pinnipeds, out there doing their pinniped thing. And when it's a lower tide, and particularly different times of year, you will see all kinds of seals and sea lions out there. Now, are those seals and sea lions, or is that kelp floating?
Kelp.
That's kelp?
Little kelp.
We should have just lied, because from here it really looks like seals and sea lions. When drones first started becoming a thing, before they were kind of banning them everywhere, I may or may not have flown a drone over here, out there on those rocks, to get a close view of what the sea lions look like. Subsequent to that, they banned it. You can't do that now. It turns out it's not majestic and beautiful like you'd think. They're like pooping on each other, and it's like downtown Portland over there. It's nasty. You got a seal?
Yeah, right there by the foam.
Oh yeah, I see him. Sorry, y'all got a view up my nose. Oh, he went away.
Ooh.
That's just like when you have a squeak in your car and you take it to the mechanic. All right. Just want to show you what's going on out here. Even when the weather's bad, it's beautiful, it's magnificent. There's a ton of stuff to do. In fact, I'm going to say there's even more stuff to do, really. Something we've been noticing, frogs are coming out. They're all over the place right now. And we love to go out in the evenings. We go and we're not actually hunting them. We call it hunting, though. Frog hunting and porcupine hunting. And we take the little ones, we take the four-wheel drive, and we drive down the beach roads and stuff like that, just looking for this wildlife. And we get out, we interact with it or don't, try to get pictures of it, let them go on their merry way. It's a winter wonderland out here. All kinds of good stuff. So that's all we've got for right now. Hopefully you folks have a fantastic Christmas. God bless each and every one of you, and God bless America.
He is not whale hunting. I told him, I said, yeah, I think people are whale hunting. He goes, you can hunt whale? I said, no, Rob, come on. So anyway, that's Rob from Bait and Tackle down in Charleston, Oregon. And like I said, starting right now, this year, next year, he's going to be here every other Wednesday, doing reports from the Oregon coast to let us know what's going on and introducing us to interesting people. Now we're speaking of interesting people. Bill Lundun is off this week, but I asked him, big story came up on DEQ and how the governor has given them the ability to create rules that are greatly going to affect people, farmers, ranchers, all of us who use any kind of petroleum or energy or concrete or lumber or anything like that. And so Bill put together two different shows. One is going to be right here. This is on the shorter of the two versions, but there's a longer version on YouTube, on Rick Dancer, on my Rick Dancer channel, if you want the longer version. But Bill's going to go into the weeds, so I'm going to let him educate you. But this is so we know when people ask us questions, we'll be smart enough to answer those questions. Here's Bill.
Good evening from the News Radio 1120 AM and 93.7 FM KPNW studios. I'm Bill Lundun, and yes, this does represent my opinion. All right, in full transparency, I recorded this over the weekend for playback on Monday because Rick said, hey, I really want you to talk more about this new climate protection plan that was adopted last Thursday by the Oregon Department of Environmental Quality. It was a 4-1 vote. And in particular, it was done because the governor said to through executive order, because the legislature has not passed her demanded cap and trade bill. Well, if you're not familiar with this, in essence, the DEQ, not elected officials, not legislature, has created rules that are essentially laws that will require fuel suppliers to reduce greenhouse emissions from the products they sell by 50% in 2035, 90% by 2050, which is way more aggressive than the state's goals. It would also highly regulate the greenhouse gases from 13 different types of industrial facilities who would be required to reduce their emissions with aggregate emission reductions targeted at half of today's levels by 2035. Now, one of those, semiconductors, which is a big sector in Oregon, and another, concrete. We'll talk more about that in a second. The thing about the plan is that suppliers that can't meet the reductions are going to face large escalating costs every year, which, of course, indirectly is going to be passed along to you, the consumer. The amazing thing about this plan is that it does not prescribe a way to even achieve these reductions. They even admit, we don't know how you're going to do it. You're just going to have to do it. Gee, that's not pie in the sky at all. The rollout begins early next year, and essentially this really unrealistic program, it doesn't give any idea how we're going to achieve this with the limited availability of, for instance, biofuels, electric trucks, electric cars, electric heavy equipment, charging stations, and any alternatives to natural gas, because natural gas is going to be affected by this in a big way. And that's going to be passed along to you, the consumer, in your utility bills. Also, it's going to cost more for any fossil fuel supplier, that's diesel, gasoline, and propane used in transportation, residential, commercial, and industrial settings. How much is it more is it going to cost? All right. Well, the Public Utility Commission actually testified in front of the DEQ before they adopted these draconian rules. Now, the Public Utility Commission did not say of these numbers which apply to which one of the natural gas suppliers here in the state. But I can tell you there's only three: Northwest Natural Gas, Avista Natural Gas, and Cascade Natural Gas. Now, here's what they said privately to the PUC, which the PUC stated during their testimony. One of the utilities said that the increase by 2050 would be 39% for industrial users. Another utility estimated residential costs will increase by 33% by 2040, commercial costs by 40%, and industrial costs by 81%. Most industries in Oregon use natural gas. A third estimated that residential costs would increase by 75% by 2040, commercial costs by 94%, industrial costs by 107%. And that was in the documents that are submitted by the DEQ. There's 800,000 natural gas customers in Oregon. That includes residential, commercial, and industrial. And anything that these industries or commercial entities are producing, the cost for those items is going to go up. And as a residential user of Northwest Natural Gas or one of the other natural gas providers, well, you do the math. You're going to be paying higher bills. One of the industries that's going to be highly regulated, and as was pointed out by the Department of Environmental Quality, concrete. What is concrete used for? Bridges. It's used for driveways. It's used for the construction of large buildings. So what is that going to do to the cost in Oregon of construction? And think about the Oregon Department of Transportation. Remember that $5.7 billion transportation package that was passed back in 2017 that was supposed to revitalize all of Oregon's bridges and all of Oregon's roads? Well, concrete's used for the majority of those bridges, with asphalt being the second part. One of the things that's not mentioned in here is it will increase the cost of asphalt, because what is asphalt made out of? Distilled petroleum. That's one of the main ingredients of asphalt. If you're going to increase the prices of petroleum, well, guess what? Asphalt's going to go up too. So all of a sudden, that $5.3 billion isn't going to go nearly as far. And so where are they going to get the money to complete all of these projects? Well, the $5.3 billion came out of your pocketbook. Guess where they're going to go for the rest? And let's look at it on a smaller scale, like, for instance, Lane County, which has 1,440 miles of county roads that they have to maintain and 417 bridges. You think the maintenance costs on those are going to go up? To fill the potholes, to resurface a road, to rebuild a bridge? Remember, the county a few years ago actually asked taxpayers for an extra $11 million a year for just that reason, to work more on bridges and work more on roads because they said they were deteriorating. They wanted $11 million annually, and Measure 20-231 failed. Where are they going to get the money then? And what about counties like Jackson and Josephine County, which are so strapped they can barely keep, for instance, their jails open? How are they going to afford this? These increased costs are going to affect everybody. County governments, municipal governments, even at the state level, ODOT. Then you look at just construction costs in general. Construction costs, most large buildings, what are they made out of? Steel and cement. That's going to increase the costs. Where's that money going to come from? Well, it's going to be passed on to either the consumers and the taxpayers. It goes on and on. What's most disturbing, we keep hearing about these communities that are impacted, communities of color, low-income communities, tribal communities. This is in the DEQ report that was published based on these rules. While the DEQ is unable to quantify these indirect impacts, DEQ recognizes that compliance costs for fuel suppliers will be passed on and may disproportionately impact businesses and industries that face out-of-state competition and are more reliant on natural gas and transportation fuels. Disproportionate indirect impacts could also be felt by environmental justice communities that have difficulty transitioning to clean energy sources and that are less resilient to price impacts. These include communities of color, communities experiencing lower incomes, tribal communities, rural communities, coastal communities, communities with limited infrastructure, and communities traditionally underrepresented in public processes and adversely harmed, including seniors, youth, and persons with activity. They go on to say that it will increase the cost of construction for something as small as a 1,200 square foot detached single-family dwelling. And it goes on and on. And yet, it passed. One outcome, the Oregon Farm Bureau said, you know what? This is going to disproportionately affect us as well. They say it will devastate, and I'm quoting them, devastate Oregon farmers and ranchers, raising the cost for fuels, propane, and natural gas our rural communities rely on to produce food and fiber as part of the global food system. Oregon farmers and ranchers compete in a global marketplace, and a decrease in farm viability will only increase global emissions as Oregon transitions our agricultural production to other states and countries. They end by saying, the Oregon Farm Bureau will be pursuing a legal challenge to the rules and hopes that voters do not forget this abuse of power when they see their home heating costs and fuel pump prices skyrocket while their income stagnates. And they're doing this at a time, by the way, the DEQ, at a time of record inflation. Let's be honest. We're screwed. If somebody doesn't put a stop to this, and I hope this lawsuit passes muster, I hope they're able to stop it, because if not, Oregonians are completely hosed. We're going to see more industries leave the state. We're going to see more Oregonians leave the state. And then how many taxpayers are going to be left to pay skyrocketing bills for not only construction, not only residential heating rates, but all of the tax projects that go on throughout this state? Are we living in an alternate universe? All because Governor Kate Brown didn't get her way in the legislature and so decided to wave her magic scepter. Lucky us. All right, Rick, get real.
You got to thank Bill, because he does tons of legwork to get that information for you. And then what do you do with that? Well, it doesn't matter who you vote for. Doesn't matter what party you vote for, it matters who you vote for. And Oregon, whether we voted for her or not, Kate Brown was elected the governor, and she's pushing this stuff through. And what cracks me up, it doesn't, it makes me angrier than hell, is she and a lot of her followers run around and say how much we need to take care of these disenfranchised communities and people who are poor and the middle class. That's who you're screwing. The people you're disenfranchising is the very people, this is going to affect them worse than anybody else. And yet she pushes it through because she didn't get her way. We do have systems in this country and in our state, a legislative branch. It's supposed to go, those people represent us, not the governor comes in and waves her magic scepter and gets her way. So it's up to us to stop it. And you can't just sit by and watch this stuff go on anymore. And I'm proud of people in Oregon because I think you are waking up. We are. I think we're all waking up and going, you know what? You're not going to get away with this. And if you disagree with us, great. That's fine. Make your opinion known. But the rest of us aren't going to shut up anymore. We're going to start talking because this is our state as well. And we are all Oregonians, whether we live here or not. And some of us have to leave because we can't take it anymore. And we can do more damage from the outside than the inside. I'm Rick Dancer. Thank you for joining us. If you'd like a longer version of what Bill just did on my YouTube channel, Rick Dancer over there. And tomorrow night, we're going to have a special Strangest Reindeer of All Christmas presentation, looking at Christmas as what is it really? How does it look anything like the guy that it's named after? It doesn't, but we're going to show you what it really looks like. That's tomorrow night. And then we're going to take next week off. But we will be back the first week of January. So have a great holiday season. Enjoy your family. Don't pay attention too much to the news and don't freak out about any of it. This too shall pass. Have a good night and share it on your